What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to subscribe button down below. I apologize for the late video, but I still wanted to get one out today, so I'm releasing it now. I don't know if 100% I can get a video out tomorrow. I want to say happy Easter to everybody if I don't get a video out, but I'm going to try and get something out at some point. But in this video today, if you guys are not, or if you guys are new to the channel, if you haven't been watching the channel for over a year, you may not know about this series. And this series is called "Is This Stupid?" And this is typically I do it with myself and Joshua, but not recording a podcast right now. And I really wanted to talk about this idea before the draft started, and I didn't want to forget. And this is a topic that we've actually done before. I want to say it was one of the first "Is This Stupid?" topics like 2 years ago when we were first starting the channel. But "Is This Stupid?" is the idea where I bring a take to the table, whether or not it's mine. This one's not necessarily my take, but I talk about it. And it's typically a wild take. This is never something that, someone would look at and just be like, oh, yeah. And I present the argument and I let you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll talk about both sides of the argument, obviously. So let me know your thoughts. But here it is. The Baltimore Ravens, if Lamar Jackson is not going to stay, whether that means the Ravens are trading him, whether that means he just decides, you know what, I want out, right? I refuse to play. I'm going to sit out, and the Ravens, you're going to have to cut me, or you're going to have to trade me. That's the only way you're getting anything out of me. Otherwise, I'm going to sit out and I'm going to walk. If that were to happen, the Ravens should trade Mark Andrews, right? And the reasoning behind this is it would be a reset. Mark Andrews is an older tight end in the NFL. He's about 28 years old. And when you are an older tight end in the NFL, yes, you have experience. Yes, you have versatility. And Mark Andrews, I firmly believe, is the third best tight end in the NFL. I think it's George Kittle. I think it's Travis Kelce, top two. Travis Kelce at number one. And then in that next year, I think is a man by himself and Mark Andrews. And then there's a drop off. And then there's the guys like TJ Hawkins and Kyle Pitts and such. He's elite. This video is not me trying to bash him as a player, bash him as an asset, bash him as, a Raven. But at certain points, if the Ravens are looking to maybe not fully reset, but a micro reset, a small reset, I feel like trading Mark Andrews could be a beneficial thing because, one, you have him locked down. He's on a not a large contract, but he's on a good-sized contract, one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL. And if you go and get yourself a younger quarterback, or you don't even have a quarterback for this year because you trade Lamar Jackson, you use this year as a gap year, you don't really need next year when you try and get that new guy, that next guy, a 29-year-old tight end. Instead, what you need is probably going to be wide receivers. And here's the thing. This is part of the reason why it could potentially work is this year, first off, is a great year for drafting tight ends. Very good tight ends in this class. Michael Mayer's unbelievable. Washington, very good. Kincaid, I believe is how you pronounce his name, is a very good tight end I know as well. There's also another guy I want to say out of Oregon State. There's like four really good tight ends in this draft. Michael Mayer is unbelievable. He's, I think, in my opinion, the clear number one. But after that, it's a discussion. Check out Play Action Football. Matt breaks it down pretty well if you guys want to see a little bit more. But good draft class. The other thing is we have other young tight ends, and one of them is Isaiah Likely. I think Isaiah Likely is a stud. I think he can be a number one tight end in the NFL. I think he can be top 10, top 5. Heck, he could be the best tight end in the NFL in a couple of years with the right development and offensive system. I'm not saying he will be, I'm saying he has the potential to be. So trading Mark Andrews, we're not getting a major downgrade at the tight end position. It's not like we have nobody that would be able to step in and replace him, right? Not like losing Lamar Jackson, where it's like, oh, we go from Pro Bowler to absolute scrub. No matter who it is, whether we're using Tyler Huntley, whether we go out and sign like Carson Wentz, like they're scrub. Like that's a major downgrade from Pro Bowl to maybe he can win a couple of games. At the tight end position, I think Isaiah Likely is already, in that top half of the NFL at tight ends, and that was after his rookie year. Tight end is not a position where players come in and dominate from day one. Never has been. It's very rare to get a year one tight end that plays extremely well. But Isaiah Likely played very well. And I fully believe in him. So if the Ravens wanted to hit that micro reset, they could either trade Mark Andrews and rock with Isaiah Likely as tight end one. And, we'll see what we get out of Charlie Kohler. But we could also draft another tight end. Doesn't have to be round one, Michael Mayer. Maybe, you could get a 2 for Mark Andrews. So maybe you get a second round pick and you draft yourself a guy like a Kincaid, right? Like a Washington. They could come in and be like that dynamic 2 tight end set, but also second round pick would be very valuable. And I feel like you'd be able to get that from Mark Andrews. You may be able to get a 1 in the sense of how we got a 1 for Orlando Brown Jr., where we also traded a later round pick, but we still got that first round pick. And we used that on a Dafe away. Maybe Jeff's shown a little bit better than a Dafe, but it's possible. And again, that's the argument behind it of trading Mark Andrews. It would free up cap space. This is not a free up cap space to sign Lamar Jackson type of move. If you do this, you're not getting Lamar Jackson back because this is his number one target. I'm not saying that we don't need Mark Andrews. If we're trying to win right now, we do need him. That is not the point of this video. That's not the point of this argument. This is an if Lamar leaves, what is the point of keeping him around? Instead, I think we fully rebuild this offense, right? Next year draft, or maybe this year draft, or probably next year draft our RB1. Maybe this year. This is one of the best running back draft classes ever. This may be the best running back draft class of all time. Legitimately. I think I legitimately believe that. But you could draft him now, or you could wait till next year and have this year just be a rebuild year. A short-term rebuild, but still a rebuild, right? Because you could next year go into it with a good draft pick, draft yourself your future quarterback. Not saying it'll be Caleb Williams, but maybe it's a Drake May. Maybe it's somebody that steps up. I haven't scouted all the next year quarterbacks, but it's going to be a better draft class than this one. Or even if you draft someone for this year, soft rebuild 1 year, let them get their footing. And then next year, when you have the cap space, because you no longer have Mark Andrews, you no longer have JK, you no longer have Gus Edwards, and you can just heavily rebuild this offense. Use your first round pick this year on maybe a developmental wide receiver like a Quentin Johnston, or even just not a developmental guy, but someone that maybe needs to build out a frame, right? Maybe a guy like Zay Jones, Zay Flowers, or maybe a guy like Jordan Addison. Maybe a guy like Tank Dell in the later rounds, right? Try and rebuild this offense for Todd Monken, where he can then look at it and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And also next year has a great tight end prospect in Brock Bowers, if the Ravens decide to go quarterback this year of trading Lamar Jackson. So that's the argument behind potentially trading Mark Andrews. It's to hit the soft reset, right? It's not a full rebuild. You're still going to have an elite defense. You're still going to have, the most of the pieces in your offense, at least in the passing. You're still going to keep your offensive line. You're going to still probably keep your fullback. You're going to have your running backs for next year, but running back is a very easy, very replaceable position. Just draft one next year. Have a new offense, fix it, but the defense is still going to be set in stone. 1 year reset, trade Mark Andrews, get rid of Lamar. If Lamar needs to go, that's it. The reason why I think you should keep Mark Andrews, again, this is the second part of the video, is I do defend it. So for all the people that have just been commenting, you idiot, get into it. The reason to keep Mark Andrews is he's elite. It's difficult to replace a top-end tight end. And having, if you want to hit that soft rebuild, you can still keep Mark Andrews, right? You could still have him go out there and be that safety net for your young quarterback, whether it's Tyler Huntley, whether it's a rookie that you draft this year or a rookie you draft next year. Having someone like Mark Andrews is always going to be valuable for your quarterback. I don't care what age he is, right? One of the biggest things that helped Patrick Mahomes come into the league was Travis Kelce. I would argue that is the biggest thing. I don't think it's Andy Reid. I don't think it's Tyreek Hill. I don't think it's anybody. except for Travis Kelce. Maybe the best not maybe, the best pass catching tight end of all time. Sorry to Tony Gonzalez. Sorry to John Mackey. Sorry to Kellen Winslow. It's Travis Kelce. Sorry to Jimmy Graham as well. It's Travis Kelce. So giving your young quarterback an elite tight end with good hands, pass catching ability that can also block is valuable. And he's a great member of the organization, great member in the community, you know, Ravens players, fans, coaches, you know, teammates, everybody in the building, they love Mark. Trading him would be drastic for somebody like Eric DeCosta, who didn't draft him, but to lose, let's be honest, the entire last draft of Ozzie Newsome, right? We drafted Lamar Jackson, Hayden Hurst, and Mark Andrews. We drafted other players as well. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but there's probably a couple still on the team. But that's like, those are the best players that Ozzie Newsome drafted in his final draft. And if you lose all of them, that is a very risky move. And Eric DeCosta would be risking his job potentially if he did this. So, not saying I think it would happen, but I think I'm going to stand on the side that I would do it. I honestly think I would. Again, this is not me wanting to trade him. This is if we hit the soft reset, I would trade him. Let me know, everybody. Ravens should trade Mark Andrews. Is this stupid? Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have any, is this stupid topics? I love doing these, especially in the off season. Let us know. Joshua and I can do them when we do the podcast, when we do the live streams. This is this type of stuff that we love to talk about because there isn't news every day. Instead, we get to talk about and we get to theorize and we get to talk about philosophy, team building, and everything like that. And that's the stuff I like to talk about. That's the stuff I like talking to you guys about. Thank you all so much. And I will see all of you potentially again tomorrow. I know I'll see you guys on Monday, but happy Easter if I don't.